Hi, my name is Tammy Fuller. I am a registered nurse and I'm also a life coach for nurses. And I wanted to share something that was helpful for me in working on some goals over this past year. It's kind of like a little gap analysis. So it's not setting the actual goal, it's more looking at who do you need to be in order to be the person that can reach your goal. A lot of people already have their goals set up, and if you don't, this can help you kind of um, focus your goals in a direction that would be helpful. Let me explain. So we all have a gap. We have a gap between who we would rate ourselves as currently being, how we currently show up in the world, and who we're capable of being. There's always more growth that we can experience. If we're not growing, then we're being stagnant, and nobody wants to be stagnant, I don't think. Sometimes that's not the same as taking a break or resting or recovering. That's not being stagnant. I'm talking about just kind of being in a fixed mindset. So who you currently are, who you're capable of being, there's a gap there, and that's the goal we're trying to reach. So why do we want to bridge this gap? We want to be the best person that we can be. The best version of ourselves needs to show up consistently in work, health, and home fronts. I know sometimes you've probably had a day where you just say, that was a great day. I wish every day could be that way. Your work went well, you're feeling good, you have energy, your relationships at home are good. We want to become the person that can show up that way more often. So this is just a way to help us look at where you currently are. I'm going to go over 3 categories, and I'm going to have you score yourself between 1 and 10, 10 being a perfect score, in the categories of energy, work, and love. And spoiler alert, the total score would be 30, but you're probably not a perfect person, I'm guessing. I'm not sure you would have even clicked on this if you were a perfect person. So don't stress out at where you are in relationship to a perfect 30. So the first category is energy. Some questions you could ask yourself in the energy category is, are you getting good sleep? Are you getting 7 to 8 hours? Are you eating as well as the best version of you can? Nutrition that you know is fueling you and not dragging you down, causing disease, etc. Are you exercising? That can be formal exercise, but also throughout the day, are you moving your body, or are you being too sedentary? Do you have mental clarity? Do you have focus? So a score of 10 is the most perfect human being. You have nothing left to improve in the category, and then a 1 would be a total mess. Then I want you to do a little bit of journaling on what's going well. Give yourself credit for the parts of this category that you're kind of knocking it out of the park. And then what's one thing you could start or stop doing that would bring your rating up a point? We're going to grab one thing out of each of these categories, and even if you don't set goals or resolutions, you have 3 things that you could work on to kind of bridge that gap. So one thing, and I recommend that you make it a super simple thing. Then work. How do you flow throughout the day? How's your ability to focus without distraction? How's your level of productivity, your ability to prioritize, your time management? How do you feel like you're showing up when you clock in the morning, and when you clock out? How would you score an average day at work? What's going well? Give yourself credit for the things you're rocking, the things you're doing great at work. And then what's one thing you could start or stop doing that would bring your rating up a point? And for some people, this might be a regular clock in, clock out day job, or night job if you're working in an industry that works nights. But it could also be like a side hustle or a side job or something you're working on for the future. Like for me, my life coaching, I could score my day job and my coaching business. And then love. How are you showing up in your relationships? How are you showing up as a spouse, as a parent, as a child? How are you with your coworkers and your patient? What kind of relationships do you have? Give yourself a score 1 through 10. Again, we're going to look at what's going well, and then what's one thing you could start or stop doing that would bring your rating up 1 point. So then you're going to total up those 3 scores across energy, work, and love. How capable do you think that this person, whatever your score is able to achieve your dream goal in the next 1 to 3, 5 years? Like, are you already being the person that can hit that goal? Let's say you scored yourself as a 15 out of 30. You probably have some room for improvement that if you work on those 3 categories, you're going to be more likely to hit that big goal. And then the question is, would you like some support in increasing that score and closing that gap? I'm starting next weekend on I think it's the 7th. I have to look at what the date is, Saturday. I'm going to be running a group of people through a beta course called Flourishing Nurses. And the whole idea in that course is going to be 6 weeks of content and work to improve your energy, work, and love. And we're going to do it in some very specific ways. We're going to talk about resilience. We're going to talk about being anti-fragile. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about eating, moving, sleeping. There's just a whole bunch of content. I'm trying to keep it, I don't want to overload you with a bunch of content. You don't need another side job in taking a course. I'm going to make it kind of concise and actionable, and each week you're going to implement a tiny habit that's going to move you closer to closing that gap. So if you would like to be one of my testers of this program before I officially launch it, you can either comment in the comments, or you can send me an email at Tammy, Tammy, at tammyfuller.me. So that's TAMMY at TAMMYFULLER.ME. And just let me know. You can message me. I am hoping to get about 10 more people in. I've got some already lined up that are going to test the program. I would love to have a few more just to give me some feedback on whether the content hits home, whether there's things that are missing. If there's too much, you can let me know that. And then I would love to hear success stories. The whole idea is not to just consume a bunch of content. The whole idea is to put a few things into practice and make a difference in your lives. And that's what I'm hoping to hear from people, is that this makes a difference. So even if you don't want to participate in that, I hope this little quiz is helpful to kind of set your sights on your goals a little more clearly. All right. Thank you, everyone.